two broken souls, a lonely road, and a discovery that would change everything Ethan Ward thought he knew about luck, love, and second chances. What he found that misty October morning wasn't just a woman left for dead. It was the beginning of something that would turn his entire world upside down. The fog hung low that morning, thick as a blanket over Riverbend Road, a stretch of forgotten asphalt that rarely saw more than 3 cars a day. Ethan's boots crunched against the gravel as he walked, hands shoved deep in his jacket pockets. He'd been on foot for about 40 minutes, 3 miles from his old farmhouse, heading toward the Hutchinson property to help repair a barn roof. The pay wasn't great, but when you've got a 6-year-old daughter counting on you, something is always better than nothing. That's when he saw it. At first, it looked like a pile of discarded clothes dumped in a drainage ditch. But something about the shape made his stomach twist. "Hey!" Ethan broke into a run, heart pounding. "Hey! Can you hear me?" As he got closer, the details snapped into horrifying focus. It was a woman, lying motionless in the shallow ditch, her body twisted at an unnatural angle. Her once elegant business suit was ripped and filthy, covered in mud and dried blood. Her face, a beautiful shade of brown skin, was now bruised beyond recognition, swollen purple, the kind of damage that comes from fists, not a fall. Ethan dropped to his knees beside her, his construction site first aid training kicking in. He pressed 2 fingers to her neck, searching for a pulse. There. Faint. But there. Ma'am, can you hear me?" No response. Her skin was ice cold beneath his fingertips. This wasn't an accident. Someone had beaten this woman within an inch of her life and left her here to die. Then something else made his blood run colder. Her legs, the way they were positioned, the visible muscle wasting even through her torn slacks. And beside her, half buried in the mud, were 2 deep tracks, like the kind made by wheels. A wheelchair. Someone had beaten a woman who couldn't even walk and dumped her body out here in the middle of nowhere. He looked up and down the road. Not a single car. Not a house in sight. No cell service this far out. The nearest phone was at Mrs. Green's place, a 1/4 mile from his farmhouse. He checked her breathing again. Shallow. Labored. She didn't have hours. The decision came fast. He lifted her carefully, cradling her the same way he used to carry his daughter, Naomi. She weighed almost nothing. As he stood, her head fell limply against his chest, and a faint, broken whimper escaped her lips. "I've got you. You're going to be okay. I promise." The walk back felt endless. His arms burned. His back screamed. But he didn't stop. Every few minutes he'd pause, checking if she was still breathing, then keep moving. By the time the farmhouse came into view through the lifting fog, Ethan's body was shaking from exhaustion. The old place looked even rougher in the morning light. Peeling paint, sagging porch, a hole in the roof he still hadn't fixed. He pushed through the front door and headed straight to his bedroom, laying the woman gently on his bed. He grabbed the first aid kit from the hall closet. The muscle atrophy in her legs was severe, years of paralysis, not months. The bruising on her arms showed where someone had gripped her hard, and the cuts on her hands were defensive wounds. She had tried to fight back. This wasn't random. This was personal. Ethan bolted to Mrs. Green's house and pounded on the door until the elderly woman answered, her silver-gray hair wrapped in a colorful scarf. "Ethan, what on earth?" "I need your phone. Now! There's a woman. She's been beaten bad." Mrs. Green didn't hesitate. She handed him her old rotary phone. 911, what's your emergency?" 1247 Riverbend Road. I found a woman on the side of the road. She's been beaten, unconscious, and I think she's paralyzed. He gave them everything. Pulse, breathing, visible injuries. Then came the words that made his stomach drop. Sir, there's been a major accident on Interstate 40. Our nearest available ambulance is approximately 3 hours away. 3 hours. Understood. He ran back to the house. She was exactly as he'd left her, pale beneath the bruises, barely breathing. He pulled up a chair beside her bed and checked her pulse every 10 minutes. An hour passed, then 90 minutes. And then her eyes fluttered open. "Hey," he said gently, leaning forward. "You're safe. Don't try to move." Her eyes were wild with fear, deep brown, unfocused, scanning for threats that weren't there. "Please," she rasped, her voice barely a whisper, "don't let them find me." "No one's going to hurt you here, I promise." My chair," she stammered, her voice broken. "They took it, said I wouldn't need it, burned it right in front of me." Ethan felt rage twist deep in his gut. "Isabel, my sister, she just watched." "Shh, save your strength," he said softly. "They left me to die." A single tear rolled down her bruised cheek. "She said our father was a fool, giving me the company when I can't even walk." Her eyes rolled back, and she slipped into unconsciousness again. The ambulance arrived 2 hours and 47 minutes after Ethan's call. The paramedics rushed in, working fast. "Sir, did she say anything?" "She mentioned her sister, Isabel, and something about her wheelchair being burned." The paramedic's face darkened. "This woman's been drugged. Heavy sedatives. Whoever did this wanted her dead." "Which hospital?" "St. Catherine's, in Asheville. I'm following you." He sprinted back to Mrs. Green's house. His daughter Naomi was sitting at the kitchen table eating cereal. Her brown eyes lit up when she saw him. "Daddy, you're back early!" "Something happened, sweetheart. I found a lady who's hurt, and I need to make sure she gets to the hospital safely. Can you be a big girl and come with me?" Naomi's eyes widened. "Is she hurt bad?" "Pretty bad." "Then we gotta help her." She hopped down, grabbed her stuffed rabbit, and held it up proudly. "Mr. Bunny always makes me feel better when I'm scared. Maybe the lady needs him too." The drive to St. Catherine's took an hour. As soon as they arrived, a tall, well-built detective approached him. "Sir, I'm Detective Carter. You're the one who found the victim." Ethan nodded. For the next hour, he gave his full statement while Naomi clung to his arm. Detective Carter listened carefully, jotting notes. "Mr. Ward, do you have any idea who this woman is?" "I don't. She was unconscious most of the time." Carter's expression grew serious. "Between you and me, this looks like attempted murder. But she's alive because of you. Mr. Ward, you saved her life." Naomi tugged at Ethan's sleeve. "Daddy, can we wait here until the sleeping lady wakes up?" He smiled softly. "Yes, sweetheart, we can wait." They waited for hours. Naomi drew pictures with crayons a nurse had given her. Ethan sat in a hard plastic chair, lost in thought, thinking of Rachel, his late wife, stage 4 cancer, 6 weeks from diagnosis to goodbye. Then the betrayal, his business partner stealing everything. For 2 years, Ethan had just been surviving. But this morning, when he found that woman in the ditch, something changed. For the first time in years, he felt useful again.
The revelation and new beginning. It was late the next morning when Ethan and Naomi returned to St. Catherine's. The nurse smiled kindly when she saw them. "She's still unconscious, sweetie," she said to Naomi, "but I think she'd love your drawings when she wakes. Can we put them on our wall? I think that would be wonderful." Inside the private room, Ethan finally saw the woman in proper light. She was younger than he'd guessed, early 30s maybe. Even beneath the bruises, she had fine, graceful features, high cheekbones, soft lips, and long black locks someone had neatly braided. Naomi tiptoed to the bedside and placed her stuffed rabbit on the table. "Now you won't be lonely." Hours passed. At 11 o'clock, Detective Carter appeared in the doorway, his expression serious. "Mr. Ward, We have an ID, and this situation is a lot bigger than we thought. Ethan's stomach tightened. Who is she? Carter pulled a photo from a folder. Her name is Dr. Maya Sinclair, CEO of Sinclair Enterprises. She's been missing for 2 days. Ethan stared from the picture to the woman in the bed. Sinclair Enterprises, a multi-billion-dollar tech empire. Her family, they had to be involved. Carter nodded grimly. She owned 70% of the company. Certain people apparently thought her wheelchair made her unfit to lead. We're looking at her stepsister Isabel and several board members. We'll need you to testify when this goes to trial. Ethan nodded slowly. Whatever she needs. Daddy, Naomi whispered, tugging his sleeve. What's a CEO? It means she's in charge of a big company, sweetheart. Naomi frowned. But she's hurt real bad. Maybe she needs friends more than being in charge. Ethan smiled gently. You might be right, honey. The next morning, Maya woke. Ethan walked in to see her sitting up, pale but conscious. Her eyes locked on him. You are the one who found me, she said quietly. Yeah, that was me. They said you carried me 3 miles. Anyone would have done the same. Her gaze hardened. No, most wouldn't have, especially once they realized. She gestured toward her legs. You're not broken, Ethan said before he could stop himself. Their eyes met and held for a long moment. Naomi peeked from behind him. Can I say hi now? Maya's face softened. Is this your daughter? This is Naomi. You have a beautiful name like a princess. Naomi grinned. I left Mr. Bunny for you so you wouldn't be lonely. Did he help? Maya's eyes filled with tears. He helped very much. Thank you. The room grew quiet as the nurse stepped out. Maya turned back to Ethan. They tried to kill me, she whispered. My stepsister, Isabel, and 3 board members. They drugged me, dumped me there, and burned my wheelchair while I watched. Ethan felt rage twist inside him. That's evil. She nodded. I'd been gathering evidence of their embezzlement for months. They decided to remove the problem. Well, the problem's still here, Ethan said firmly. Her voice softened. Because of you. He looked away, suddenly unsure what to do with the weight of her gratitude. You don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. You and your daughter were the only people who came. I don't have anyone left I can trust. Ethan swallowed hard. Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. Over the next 2 weeks, Ethan and Naomi became daily visitors. Ethan brought soup, Naomi brought drawings and stories. Maya healed, slowly but surely. The bruises faded, but the loss of her custom wheelchair left her stranded. It took 6 months to build. Now it's ash. You're not helpless, Ethan said gently. You're running a company from a hospital bed and building a case against people who tried to kill you. That's strength. Maya smiled faintly. You make it sound heroic. It is. When the hospital finally prepared to discharge her, Maya sighed. I can't go back to my penthouse. It's still a crime scene, and I can't go to a care facility, so I don't know where to go. Ethan hesitated. The idea sounded crazy, but it felt right. Come stay at my place, he said. What? The farmhouse. It's old, but safe. Mrs. Green still has a wheelchair from her husband, and I can build ramps, modify the bathroom, whatever you need. Maya's eyes softened. Why would you do that? Because when I look at you, I don't see a CEO or a victim. I just see someone who needs a place to breathe. Naomi tugged his sleeve again. Daddy, can I give her Mr. Bunny now? Maybe he'll help her feel brave. Maya laughed through her tears. You're a good man, Ethan Ward. He smiled. So that's a yes? It's a yes, but I'll pay my way. I'm not dead weight. Deal.
The following days were a blur of hammering, sanding, and sawdust. Ethan built ramps and widened doorways. Mrs. Green brought casseroles. When Maya was discharged, she looked nervous in borrowed jeans and a sweater, her hair pulled back neatly. "Ready?" he asked. She looked at the old wheelchair, then back at him. "Let's go home." The farmhouse looked weathered but alive. When they rolled up the drive, she smiled. "It's beautiful." "You're terrible at lying." "I'm serious," she said. "It feels like a home." Inside, she moved slowly through each room until she saw the wooden desk he'd built for her. "You made this?" He nodded. "Nothing fancy." Her eyes shimmered. "It's the kindest thing anyone's ever done for me." "You deserve kindness," he said softly. Their eyes met, warm, steady, unspoken things passing between them, until Naomi burst in. "Miss Maya, come see my room!" The moment broke, but the feeling stayed. Days turned into weeks. Ethan worked construction jobs, Maya rebuilt her company from that farmhouse desk, Naomi filled the air with laughter. Evenings became their ritual, sitting by the fire, talking long after Naomi fell asleep. Maya confessed how people treated her differently since her accident, how isolation became routine. Ethan shared how grief had hollowed his life after Rachel died. Two people left behind, finding comfort in shared loneliness. One night Maya looked at him and said, "Why aren't you angry at the world?" He thought for a long time. "I was, but one day Naomi asked why I looked sad all the time. I realized I could either stay angry or find the good moments. That's survival." She smiled softly. "You've been through hell, Ethan Ward, yet you still find light." I shrugged. "Maybe because sometimes light finds you first." Her eyes glistened. "You have no idea how extraordinary you are." He reached out and covered her hand with his. She didn't pull away. Their fingers intertwined, two broken people finding the courage to start again. Weeks passed in peace. One evening, Ethan came downstairs to find her doing stretches on the floor. "Need a spotter?" "Always." He knelt beside her, counting reps until she was shaking. "That's enough, Maya," he said gently. When he lifted her back into the chair, she stayed close. "Thank you for never treating me like I'm fragile. You're the least fragile person I know." She smiled. "You make me feel fragile, though, in a good way." He crouched until they were eye level. Her hand brushed his cheek. "Ethan, I think I'm falling for you, and that terrifies me." "Why?" "Because I've lost everything once. I don't think I could survive losing you too." He held her hand tighter. "You're not going to lose me. You gave me back something I didn't think I'd ever feel again, hope." Tears welled in her eyes. She leaned forward, and he met her halfway. Their lips touched softly, the kiss more promise than passion. Two broken people finding the courage to start again. The next morning, Naomi found them sleeping by the fireplace, still holding hands. "Daddy, you like Miss Maya." Ethan blinked awake. "What makes you say that?" "Because you're smiling in your sleep," she said proudly. "Does that mean we're a family now?" Maya laughed through happy tears. "I hope so, sweetheart." Naomi clapped her hands. "Then can we have pancakes to celebrate?" Ethan looked at Maya, who smiled back. "Yeah, pancakes sound perfect." That morning, sunlight spilled through the farmhouse windows, warming three hearts that had once been broken.